When we talk about dominating pitching performances in MLB history, certain games stand out. Don Larson's perfect game in 1956 in the World Series and Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game are etched in baseball lore. But there are some lesser known gems that rival these feats. In 1959, Harvey Haddix delivered what many consider the most mind-blowing pitching performance ever witnessed. Pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Milwaukee Braves, Haddix threw 12 perfect innings, a record yet to be matched. To put that in perspective, it's 3 more innings of perfection beyond Larson's celebrated game in the World Series. If you guys go on to like this video, I would appreciate if you could subscribe down below and leave a like. Over 90% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so it would mean a ton if you joined. Now, with that out of the way, let's get right into talking about the mind-blowing performance by Harvey Haddix. And stick around to the end of the video to see how the Braves took after the 2017 Astros and not only stole signs, but relayed them in real time to finally get a hit off of Haddix in the 13th inning.
Now in history, only 17 have thrown a perfect game. A most exclusive club and a most exalted fame. But after 9, the Pirates, well, they hadn't scored a perfect game, and still Harvey had to pitch some more. David Wells, David Cone, Sandy Koufax, Cy Young, Jim Bunning, Tom Browning, Charlie Robertson, Don Larson in the series.
Harvey Haddix had a successful career leading up to the game against the Milwaukee Braves in 1959. Having pitched to a 20-9 record with a 3.09 ERA in 253 innings, accompanied with 163 strikeouts in his rookie season in 1953. He would finish second in Rookie of the Year voting that season, and would follow that up with multiple All-Star selections in the following 2 seasons. However, prior to the game against the Milwaukee Braves, he had been on his 4th team in 4 seasons, with the Pirates marking his 4th, and was seen as a league average pitcher hovering between a 90 to 120 ERA plus in the seasons leading up. On the other hand, the Milwaukee Braves were a juggernaut to be feared in the National League, following winning back-to-back National League pennants and a World Series in 1957. The team boasted future MLB Hall of Famers such as Eddie Matthews and Hank Aaron, alongside 11-time All-Star Del Crandall. On May 26, 1959, the teams were set to face off against each other, Harvey Haddix versus the Braves righty Lou Berdetti, and the expectation was a Braves win, especially with the absences of Pirates starters Dick Groat, who was in a slump at the time, and future Hall of Famer Roberto Clemente, who was out with a shoulder injury. He was perfect through 9 innings, only throwing 78 pitches as a result of being able to keep the Braves hitters off balance, and that allowed him to go pitch into the extra innings. Unfortunately for Haddix though, his team could not score a run to save their lives, and despite 8 total team hits leading into the 9th inning, their base running woes cost them, as Lou Berdetti was also still throwing a shutout on the opposing side. Despite his flawless performance, the Pittsburgh Pirates were unable to score in extra innings, despite a very near 2-run home run in the top of the 12th.
Due up next. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Burdett swings, ground ball into the hole, picked up by Holt, thrown to first. He got him, 36 in a row for Haddix. Don Holt way over to his left. And if he doesn't get it, I doubt if Schofield can make the play. It's that deep into the hole if it gets by Holt. But Don went over and practically got the ball in behind him with his gloved hand. Then had to make at least a half pivot and fire to Nelson in time to get Burdett by a step and make it 36 in a row for Haddix.
And as a result, in the bottom of the 13th inning, a fielding error and subsequent intentional walk to Hank Aaron allowed the Braves to score following a home run by first baseman Joe Adda. This ended Haddix's bid for a perfect game and resulted in a heartbreaking loss despite his remarkable pitching display. Haddix's home run should have made the game 3-0, but Hank Aaron running to the dugout following the first run scoring resulted in him being called out.
Wait a minute. Brett Haney coming out. What do they signal? Adcock goes back and touches third. Now he's going back to second. He apparently missed the base. Let's see what they're going to call here. Now Adcock has touched third and comes on around again.
At the time, Aaron was the only one called out, but following a review by the National League president Warren Giles, Adcock was also ruled out for overtaking Aaron, and the game was revised to a 1-0 scoreline. Following the game,
and if ever any guy deserved to win, it had to be Haddix. And in this case, and I mean it in the course of most complimentary matters, the loser would have had to have been Burdett. He gave up 12 hits and wins either 1-0 or 3-0, and we're awaiting a ruling on a one-hitter by Haddix.
Following the game, Harvey was obviously disappointed. He was interviewed and said that he did not really care about the no-hitter nor the perfect game, and he was quoted as saying the following.
Well, it's quite a letdown, I'll say that, but we were just out there trying to win the game, and as far as the no-hitter was concerned, I realized it, but I just wanted to win the game.
About what time did you get the idea that you were on the way to a pretty fine ball game?
Oh, I guess I realized it back about as far as the third inning.
13 innings of perfect baseball is a long time to be out there on the mound. Did you start to tire?
Well, yes, I'd say about the last 3 innings, I was getting pretty tired out there.
What was the specific pitch that you threw that resulted in that big hit of the ball game?
Well, it was a high slider, which I didn't want to throw.
Do you feel a little bit better after putting on that kind of a performance, I'm sure?
Well, the performance don't count for the team like this. We lost the ball game, and of course you can't feel too good about it.
Haddix became an overnight celebrity in America and was easily subject to a song on this very performance called Harvey Haddix. It has also been the song I've been periodically playing throughout this video. At the time of the 12 perfect innings, the definition of a no-hitter was considered to be no-hitting the other team through 9 innings. This was changed in 1991, however, and under the new definition, Haddix's performance was no longer considered a no-hitter. His response to this decision was simply, "It's okay, I know what I did." 2 years prior to the definition changing, however, at a players' banquet, a former Milwaukee Braves pitcher, Bob Buell, admitted that the Braves were stealing signs, and every player knew when he was throwing a fastball outside of Hank Aaron because of how the catcher set up. That is just how good Harvey Haddix was on that day. One last thing I wanted to add before signing this video off was that Harvey Haddix was a heavy smoker and apparently smoked between every inning despite even being sick that day. Well, I just think this is hilarious. Like, could you imagine one of your team's top pitchers not only pitching while sick, but also smoking in between innings? Man, the 1950s and 60s were such a different time. Not only for baseball, but in general. This video is kind of getting pretty long for the subject, so I better end it here. But there's so much more to this game and the storylines from it. So if you guys want me to make a part 2 and about the ripple effects about what happened, make sure you guys leave that down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, I of course would appreciate a like down below and subscribe so you know when I upload next. With that out of the way, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Never lucky, so you can guess the rest. Harvey